This kid's definitely on crack right now.
Yeah! Yeah!
Now it's my turn.
Enemy destroyed. He is gone. Find us There he is. Enemy armor is damaged. Penetration. We've hit them hard. Enemy armor is destroyed.
Turret so armored that you could crush a mouse with it, no weak spots in hold down, and a fun to play autoloader. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Kranvagn, the tier 10 top Swedish heavy tank. Implemented 3 years ago, the Kranvagn, along with its line, was at first nothing like what it is actually today. Specifically designed to sustain hold down positions, the turret being among the top ones of its tier, Wargaming's first decision regarding the tank was to make it slow, to counterbalance with its impressive armor. Unfortunately, this decision led to the tank not being played too often. Recently rebalanced, you might be wondering if this tank still fits its role on the battlefield, or if you should simply grind it. Let's find out together. Equipped with a 3-shell autoloader, the Kranvagn will not impress you with its DPM, even though it's still average for a tier 10 heavy. Where this tank lacks is specifically the aim time, that will require from you that you're either close range or wait for the whole circle to close in before shooting. The intra-clip reload is about 2.73 seconds, a little bit slow as well. To make it effective, it's important to understand how you're supposed to fire with it. Should you finish your clip on a target every time? In my opinion, no. Taking a look at the reload time of the first shell being nearly twice as big as the second shell reload, it's probably not worth it. Therefore, this tank is played best when you shoot only with your first 2 shells and only shooting the third one in case of emergency. Continuing our analysis with the engine, it remained a weakness since its arrival in the game. You are slow, going at 29 km per hour on average, but don't worry, I know a way to counter this. When playing with the Kranvagn, it's really important that you use the improved engine power boost for 2 reasons. The first one is being able to join early positions in the game fast, and the second, allowing yourself to relocate easily if needed. The turret. Easily taking the first place of the best turrets in this game, it's simply impenetrable in hold down if you use your 9 degrees of gun depression and can't aim at weak spots. Talking about that, good luck shooting at those because they are small. Now let's dive into 2 quick tips while playing it. First, making sure that you don't have enemies on your side when being hold down. You're armored, yes, but only frontally. As soon as you turn your turret, even for just a couple of degrees, it's over. Second, great armor doesn't mean being immune to high explosive shells, so be careful not to flex too much, especially when you're low life. We've seen statistics, we've talked about some pro tips, now let's find out about the playstyle. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have the pleasure of playing on one of the greatest maps for us to play the Kranvagn, Port Bay. And specifically if we go on the right side, because this is the side that allows you to just hold down perfectly. And I'm quite proud of this gameplay because this is exactly what I'm about to show you. Basically, you saw it in the playstyle previews like 1 minute earlier. Basically, you go first hold down, and if you do not have this possibility, you are going face hug. Why? Because you have one weakness and one weakness only, which is your hull. So what are we gonna do here? We used our engine speed boost as mentioned earlier as well in order for us to be able to get into position quite fast. From there, even if the VZ55 is gonna obstruct the view a little bit, we do have the pleasure of destroying everything in front of us. And, well, you will see that these guys are not bothering too much with me because it's mostly known among the World of Tanks community that it's impossible to penetrate a Kranvagn, except, of course, if you have a Jagdpanzer with calibrated shell and loading gold, and, of course, if the Kranvagn is not angling his tank too much. But that's a little bit too much to talk about. Let's focus on what's currently happening. As you can see, we are not trying to snap all of our shells in, except at the beginning of the game mostly, if it's to prevent enemies from pushing our position. And this is what I was afraid of when playing against that Chinese tier 10 tank that is pushing heavily on our position. I feel like this guy knew pretty much what he was supposed to do, but in the end he resigned and went back to the rest of his team, which is a good thing for us because right now we do have a whole heal for ourselves and we're gonna have some fun. And there we go, snapping one shell on the 268, 2 shells. Am I gonna go for a third one? Yes. Why? Because even if I told you that you were supposed to keep the last shell for emergency situations, this one in my opinion felt like an emergency because obviously we are in a tense situation and being able to kill not only a regular tank but rather a tank destroyer, one of the few that can actually penetrate me in hold down using calibrated shell, is definitely something that was needed. So there we go, snapping our shells, and now we are waiting for them to do a mistake. Or are we gonna make the mistakes? Yes, we are. What are we currently trying here? I was thinking, hey, maybe I can go up the hill, they're not gonna bother, and I'm gonna snap my shells and kill maybe the chieftain and then push the Sheridan. And I got put back in place because my teammates first did not follow me, and the enemies saw the opportunity of shooting into my hull. And as you can see, when you are playing with a Kranvagn, as soon as people can see your hull, it's over. Beautiful shot with a nice alpha damage on that T-124, trying to kill the chieftain using HE shells, and it worked perfectly. And now we're just gonna patiently wait for our whole reload to be complete. So there we go, 1 shell in. Can we go for 2 shells? That would be perfect. And after, we're gonna try to snap a couple of HE shells directly into this Sheridan. Can we do? Yes, we can. First one, can we go for another one? Yes, we can, securing 1000 damage on that poor guy. Now we're just waiting for the Caro to turn around and bang, we snapped the last remaining shell. Just like that, we got ourselves a nice little damage game, 4.4 thousand damage, also a first class, and on top of that, we did not die within the process. And just like that, guys, you get yourself a good Kranvagn game in which I showed you exactly what you're supposed to do with it and what is great to do with it, actually. Hopefully, it was something intuitive for you. And now it's time for us to maybe rent the tank. Let's go. The Kranvagn not only is a good tank, but it's also a newbie-friendly one. Obviously, you will not have the most fun with it because of its poor mobility, but it's something you can rely on in terms of burst, armor, and sustainability. It's a must-have in the garage, especially when you're learning about hull down and how you're supposed to do it. And for that, I rate it hull down out of 10. This video is now over. If you enjoyed, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. And personally, I'm gonna see you soon for a new one. Hey you, yes, you, like that video? Why not going for another one? I have plenty of videos you can choose from. All you have to do is hop on this truck. Come, don't be afraid. It's only one video.